Talking with Bill Mott, who trained a couple of horses who will be prominent in the November breeding stock sale at Keeneland. Let's talk about first Royal Delta. What was it that really stood out about her? What does stand out about her as a racehorse?
Well, early on as a 2-year-old, she was always one of those that was in with the group, but she was always doing her job, and we didn't get to her till late in the year. But she, her first race was very good, very professional. She won easily. She drew off and won by about 11 lengths. And, she showed that she had that extra gear in her maiden race. So I guess from that point on, we knew we were dealing with something special.
Was there anything as far as her 2-year-old year that kept her from getting to the races earlier? Any physical issues or just?
No, I mean, she's an empire maker, and I don't think you see too many of those running in April and May. So, we got to her in October, and I think just, with a easy, steady progression, and she got there on her own and without having to push her.
What about just from a personality standpoint? Pretty easygoing?
She's a little spoiled and thinks she's the queen right now. Of course, she's getting a lot of attention, but no, she's easy around the barn. She's easy around the stall. She's, reasonably good to gallop and nice to breeze, and she's has no vices. So she's a good racehorse, and hopefully one day she'll be a good mother.
Very impressive in that Alabama at her tried 1.25 miles. Do you think that was her best distance, or even farther, or 1 1/8 miles, or do you have a feel?
Well, I think at that, I think she's effective from 1 mile to 1.25 miles. I mean, she's got enough speed. She's got enough kick. She's certainly not what you'd call a plotter, and she's certainly not what you'd call one-paced. She's got, she does seem to have gears to her, and I think that makes her, a factor at different distances. The good thing is that she's shown that she has the stamina to hold on at 1.25 miles.
Let's talk about Unrivaled Belle. Very impressive in winning the Ladies Classic in the Breeders' Cup last year. As far as her racing career, that was one of the highlights. What else stood out about her as her trainer?
Well, she was there every time. I mean, if you looked at her race record, I mean, she was 1-2 nearly every time she ran. I think the only time she was off the board was when we ran her on the synthetic surface out in California, and that was off a long layoff and at a sprint distance. So the race itself probably didn't suit her, but every other time we ran her, she was a factor. She made, whether it was a champion she was in with or anybody, I mean, she made them all run. She was there every time, and she just, I can't say how nice it is to train one that is going to show up every time.
Quite a field that she beat in the Ladies Classic, and then the Derby weekend race, I remember she really showed her heart that day.
Well, she beat Rachel Alexander, and they had a pretty good stretch duel, and the interesting thing was that Rachel Alexander had come back on her and headed us, close to the wire, and I don't know, our filly dug down and found a little extra and was able to stick her head in front right on the wire, and it was really a very exciting race, and I'd probably say one of the highlights of my career here at Churchill Downs, watching her win that, because it was just such a game effort and two good fillies showing their best.
Talk about how Royal Delta is coming up to her race in the Ladies Classic.
She's doing well, actually. She breezed this morning, and she couldn't be going any better. I mean, her attitude's good, and if she comes out of this well and continues to do as well as she's done the last 3 weeks here, I'd be perfectly happy with it. She's really doing well.
Did she have to come out of her game a little bit in that last race because of just the way the race unfolded with Albert Gross?
No, I don't. I wouldn't say so. I mean, I'm not one to make excuses for her. I don't think, that, the other mare was very good on the day. Maybe we didn't run quite our best race. We were coming out of the Alabama, and she'd put in a real good effort there. First time against older mares. I think Royal Delta has a little better race in her than what she ran that day, but it was still very credible to be second, and I think hopefully it's something that she can build on and we can build on going into this one.